Kulev here. Check out this Kulev hat I had made back in my live rapping days. Man, got my fake rope on, you know. I love this, dude. I always had the fake rope. Like, I think the first one I got, I want to say Solano's flea market. Solano swapped me back in the day. But I had my boy Art lived in the old P Town too. So when I went to like his neighborhood store, I was like, oh, because they had those like, man, if you grew up back in the 80s, 90s, they had those African medallion leather ones. They had all the fake gold ropes. So I was like, oh. So, but anyway, hook this one up. But I think it's so emblematic of like, look, I'm wearing this. Like, people will die rather have, you know, some kids go mining for their diamonds. Like, and you think about the technology in our phones right now, like coltan. That's such old news, but most of it comes from the Congo, where, you know, big countries basically, they always talk about the war in the Congo, like, oh, they always say this, like, oh, those this or that people just can't stop warring. They got so many difference. No, they fund all these people so they can get cheap contracts to do child labor in countries where they want stuff. Like, give me a break, man. And yeah, I mean, someone has to take that. So no one's off the hook. Like, you got to make deals happen. There have to be people willing to play ball. So whatever. But anyway, I'm here. I hope it's not my deathbed. But I don't know. I got sick, man. Sick of all this shit. But so cheers to that. The lager, Suntory. But man, they got us all tripping out here, all over the planet. What I still playing with money. Amazon, Big Pharma, still making killer, like more than Pharaoh's ever dreamed of money. More than the people selling slaves, the Europeans and African kings who sold the slaves. Go read up about that. The Islamic empires that sold slaves, still selling slaves. Go read up about that. And still slavery's going on all over the world. Every country, call it human trafficking, still going on. But they got us literally on our freaking deathbeds. And people still like, online like, well, communism doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And they'll say, Stalin and Mao killed everyone who ever existed. And like, they're still alive killing people, apparently. But, so sharing doesn't work, really? Communism sucks. That's why Nixon, like the first, like, super right-winger hero, the Trump part one, went and made business with the big commies in China, and still like all the world, the number one, business partners, China. And it's like, I thought they're communists. They're not communists. It's state-run capitalism, but they got cheap labor, so that's why they do that. And if you really want to speak on that too, and it's, man, people have been saying it since Occupy. How long ago was that? Like 10 years ago already? Like, oh, it's socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor. Like, privatized profit, socialized debt. They're flexing again. They're flexing about Ukraine and about Taiwan, because Taiwan makes like a majority of these, I forget the name, these chips that we all use in our phones and stuff. And U.S. been trying to get people to come from Taiwan and make them use. They can't. Why would Taiwan want to do that? But if China goes Taiwan, oh, we're toast over here, like evaporation. That's no joke. But come on, and I said it before, like, these are boomer straight. I don't even forget the name of it. It's not Monopoly. It's a game that people use. Like, they try to get different countries and territories around the world, but that's, they're playing with all our lives. And even this pandemic, it's like Pfizer and these big drug companies still rather hold on to a patent than share it with the entire planet, because it's one world. Bob wasn't lying. It's one world, one blood. Like if there's look at Omicron, where's it come from? Like, so they're not vaccinating people. I believe in the vaccine. I believe it. I don't even believe in privatizing it, because I heard Cuba made their own vaccine, something like 97% effective, requires no refrigeration. Another evil communist, or no, they're not communist, socialist, basically run state, and they're exporting that to countries, you know, for little or no cost. And like, but they still got people shook, and all these religious people too, like, oh, but sharing doesn't work, communism doesn't work, because, you know, again, Mao and Stalin, and like, they'll say they killed millions and billions. Like, wait, so they killed everyone. Number one, you didn't mind them killing Nazis or the imperialists in Japan during World War II. And number two, you believe these are the same people who told you that blacks, Latinos, Southern Italians, gays, women are horrible or no good or inferior. They banned, you know, from 1924, 1960s, immigration from Italy, from Eastern Europe. They said we were mentally retarded, prone to criminality, rapists, no good criminals, mafioso. Even though really the mafiosos didn't get big till they went to the US. But these are the same people telling you that sharing, organized sharing, and real democracy of all voices, regardless of fake, unscientific race, gender, sexual, whatever. You're telling us that doesn't work. Who is that coming from? And then all these religious people backing it up like that. All our religion talks about sharing, but we don't actually believe in it. What the fuck are you talking about? And you rather go to your deathbed believing that, praying for the next life. Next life. So what's this life? Come on. If this life's not real, what do you think the next life is? Seriously. If this is a dream, I like Alan Watts stuff. Like, hey, I think we're characters in the play. That's cool. I'll play the game. I play it. But like, what do you think? I was just watching Too Short. Him and Snoop are still on some pimp shit. But like, that's the most pimping ideology I ever heard. Like, you can't change it. Well, then who can change it? Bunch of pimps and gangsters. Come on. And they want to fight all these wars with who? With your kids, your grandkids. And you still think it's impossible to share. For the majority of human history, before Marxism, any of that, people live in small communities, communal living, shared the burdens, shared the blessings, everything. And it's before farming. And, you know, again, I took those classes at Seattle U, anthropology, like all around the world. I don't care where you're talking about. But people have more free time and it's more communal. It wasn't until you basically had agriculture and you started to have a surplus of food and wealth. And then you get the priest class, I don't care what religion, and you start just building this hierarchy. In Hawaii too. The first island, come on, tell me, my Hawaiian brothers and all that, come on, bring it on. Kauai is the oldest island, earliest inhabitant, and it was mostly communal, mostly equal. Till who came along? Oh, boom! Was it Kamehameha? Because there's that hole in the mountain. Kauai said, oh, he's, you know, they threw the spear, whatever, through the mountain, but he made peace with the Kauaians. He didn't attack. You know, they made, go to Kauai, go to that museum, you'll see. So there's nowhere on the planet that hasn't suffered some form of hierarchy and some kind of from up top down exploitation. And just because someone doesn't look like, or someone looks like you, doesn't mean it's not exploitation. The Aztecs, the Mayans, like, these wasn't all like magical things going on. So stop believing the hype. But for the majority of human history, people lived in Africa. And we don't all know what went on there, but we do know we lived in smaller groups and it was communal. And before we colonized plants, I mean, people have more freedom, exercise, and all that. We can't go back to that. But to say that sharing isn't possible and it's evil, and there's nothing you can do, that's some pimp shit. And you want to tell, and you want to get mad at Too Short for talking pimp shit. Like, come on now. So get off your deathbeds. Quit, get the fake chains off your minds. I don't even care what you call it, but if we can't share, we're literally from the same material. Where the hell do you think we come from? If we can't get it together, then I mean we will. It's just a matter of time. People that don't think we will, we will. I have confidence. I don't care what you call it. I'm not tripping at all. But if it's not 100% shared, communal, respecting everybody, no, and that doesn't mean accepting of BS, racist, and all that, because we won people. Some people come from another galaxy or planet and they say, "This, you live on the same damn ship, so get it together." Anyway, I'm waiting for that. Salutes to that, because that day will come, and I believe in this life and the next one, even if it is a dream. Make it a good one. Peace.